How you doing and how's everything in life?
Thanks, Dawood. I'm very grateful to be here today. Well, I'm fine. I mean, there are no big concerns, so um, I'm very thankful for that. And how I'm doing, I mean, further, like the summer break is up and the last study year has just started. So, yeah, currently all my focus and attention goes to college and lecture, etc. So, how are you doing, brother? How's life in the US?
Doing great, and life in US is also like busy. There's work, study. You had a surgery for your arm, so how that happened and how you feeling after the surgery?
Yes, yeah, yes. Great to hear that you are doing well, brother. By the way, yes. Like 7 years ago, during a soccer game, you call it soccer, we call it a football game. Let's call it soccer. I fell on my arm and it was broken. So the doctors here have had to put like two uh, metal plates, how do you call it, in my arm. And like a few weeks ago, they have had to remove it. But like they removed only one because the other one was like too risky to remove it since it was like connected to nerves and other things. So yeah, but I'm doing well. I am like in a kind of coming back session now or period. So I'm doing my best to like to move it as a normal person do actually. But yeah, I have had some pain and very limited also because I couldn't do anything actually with one hand only. Like, but yeah, I'm doing better. I'm getting better. Thanks, bro.
I'm glad that you're doing better. Did that hold you back from doing the things that you like to do? I know that you are very athletic. You do a lot of like exercising, and also you're playing soccer. So I don't know if you are still doing that or that holds you back from doing some of these activities.
Yeah, actually, I directly after the accident, I stopped with playing soccer. Actually, because it was too risky. The doctor advised me to stop because if I would fail one more time, we would fall one more time and break it again, then it could be the end of the story, right? So I just stopped playing soccer. I had to find another ways uh, to help me like reach what I want to do in life, my hobbies, everything continued, but in some other ways. Yes.
And you're still doing amazing. What have you spent your childhood in Sinjar? So can you tell us about Sinjar and how was your childhood?
A basic life, we went every summer we went to the Syrian border. We were, I mean, like the economic like apart from the 70 concerns, the economic situation in Iraq in general was very bad under Saddam Hussein. So I can remember that we every summer went to the Syrian borders to uh, to work for other people. So I think most Yazidis did that who lived there. Yeah, my childhood in before 2003, that was actually what I remember from it. And also the economical sanctions that Iraq is facing since the 90s and the Desert Storm. But after 2003, everything changed more in the sense of not only the economical situation were bad for me as a person, but also safety concerns came into play, an important role. It was not more safe for us. I couldn't live like as normal as I could before 2003, before the American invasion of Iraq. Um, but yeah, we survived, I can say. I survived, yeah.
How do you see that life of children living inside a war and going through wars, like children
Uh,
in Iraq?
yeah, it's a very important question since like The whole reason why I stood up and I am speaking up for people in need is because of my past, because I have been through wars. I know what it means to be in war, to be unsafe, to have nothing to eat, to have like it, to not be able to go to school or doing anything like normal activities any normal people here in Europe can do, or in the US. So that's why actually I stood up and I am raising awareness about that. I mean, the last 20 years in general for all of Yazidis and other ethnic minorities who live in the Middle East as well have been 20 years of hell, you know. We we have we have seen a lot of inhuman things, you know, terrorist attacks, and a lot of injustice. We have faced a lot of injustice since the last 20 years. But yeah, but I mean, that's life. And the most important thing is that I survived and I'm like here in the Netherlands. And I am trying to help people who are in need. And yeah, that's it, bro. Yeah.
That's wonderful. It's after we survived, now we are trying to be the voice for those people who are voiceless. And we were in the same situation. Like when we were back in Iraq, we would always look for some voices that could speak up for us. And unfortunately, the Yezidis voice are very, very few voices around the world, which is like a total unfair for this minority. You moved to Netherlands, so how's different, like the life in Netherlands than life in Iraq and Sinjar?
Yeah, I mean, when we first moved to the Netherlands, everything started all over again. I mean, it was like reborning again. Actually, as a kid, you know, you can't speak the language, totally different culture, different environment. You know, everyone looked the same for me. I mean, all those people were the same, houses, streets, everything. So it was very difficult for us when we came to the Netherlands, but we have had no other options. I mean, my father worked as a translator, as an interpreter for the US Army. And unfortunately, we were left behind after the US withdrew Iraq. And my father had he got a lot of death threats, so he had to leave the country. And yeah, through family reunification of the UNHCR, we managed to come to the Netherlands, and we tried to build a life here in the Netherlands. So yeah, but it was very difficult. I mean, people think like when you leave your country and you come to the European Union, or even in the US, Australia, or any other country, people think it's something easy. I mean, for me, it has been the most difficult thing or experience I have ever known. You know, like leaving everything behind and going somewhere, trying to be accepted in the first place, and then if you are accepted or not, trying to build a life, try to be part of this new society, a new culture, new environment. It was the biggest challenge actually I have ever faced. Yeah.
Being a refugee is a challenge, and for all of us, because like coming to a new culture, learning a new language, and also they expect you to be the best. Do you think that these like hard circumstances that we are facing, is it teaching us to be better in life, or is it preventing us to chase our dreams as a human beings?
Oh well, I think the life is about experience. So I think the thing that makes us different from like people who are safe, who are born here in Europe or in the West in general, is that we have been through the hell actually. So we have seen how it is to be homeless, to be unsafe and everything. So we appreciate things very quickly. Like if we we are safe here, we got a home or even a tent. If you live on the street and you are safe, we appreciate that. And I think that's the most important thing to be aware of. If you are aware of that, I think you can use the experience you have been through or the hard circumstances back in our countries. I think that will help us, that will fuel us to, instead of preventing us to chase our dreams, it will help us to reach our dreams. And I am like embracing that mindset.
So speaking about a dream, what's a dream for you?
When I was in Iraq, everything that came up on my mind was like, I could call it a dream, you know? But when I came to the Netherlands, everything that I called a dream became a goal, you know, because in the West, if you are well integrated and you do your best, there are no dreams. There are only goals, and you have to work hard to reach it. So my goal in life is to give the Yazidi people a voice, because we have been persecuted for centuries. We have faced a lot of genocides, and never any genocide, and there were like no genocides recognized. And even say 7 years ago, we have faced one of the most like, how do you say it? It was like the genocide was the Holocaust, the second Holocaust, you know. So my goal in life is to give the Yazidi people a voice, to help them with everything I can, and no longer hide our identity, no longer hide who we are, what we believe, so our religion, and we should embrace our identity, our culture, our religion, and our beliefs, and we have to use that and to fight for our rights. So that's my goal, actually. And stop being scared, stop being like, stop hide your identity, etc. Because as you know, Yezidis, most Yezidis are born with like transgenerational trauma. Like my parents always told me, like, never tell anybody you are Yazidis, because if you do that, you may like, it may be too risky. Maybe they will kill you. I was grew up with that mindset, but I thought for a second, like, we can't be like that forever, because if we will stay and use the same mindset, like there will be no next Yazidi generation, you know. Yes.
So we should never ever hide our identity. Do you feel that the goals are changing, and that some of these goals that we were like fighting for in Iraq, now they are just simple rights for normal people here in West?
Yeah, I mean, when you tell people, like in the Netherlands, for instance, you tell people that you are thankful just because you are safe, they laugh at you. Maybe like for them it's like something funny, because here it's normal to be safe. It's normal to go to school. It's normal to have a salary when you can't work. It's normal to have a work, to have a job. It's normal to travel around the whole country, and even travel around the world. It's normal. But for us, it's a fight for basic human rights, you know. So the goals didn't change, but the place changed. I mean, in Iraq, we fought with our lives to get the basic human rights. And now we are in Europe, and we see how European people live, and how they like enjoy the basic human rights. We fight for the same goal. So the goal didn't change, only the place changed.
And that's true. The goal is still the same for us, for the Yezidis, is to fight for our people and bring justice for the Yezidis. What's the hardest moment in your life, if you could tell?
The hardest moment is like August the 3rd. You know, I mean, for the first time in my life, I went on vacation to actually for family in Germany, August 2nd. We arrived around like 11 p.m. and we wake up. We wake up. We woke up like actually in the morning with the news that Yazidis, that there was a genocide campaign started against our people, including my family members. So I think if you ask any Yazidi from our generation, he will answer the same. I mean, the day ISIS began its campaign, genocide campaign against our people in Iraq.
And that's absolutely true. Why we as a Yazidi young generation are not doing something to help these people, our people.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a very important point you have noticed, Dawood. I mean, the uh, the 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 Yazidi diaspora in Germany. I mean, there are more than 200,000 Yazidis who only live in Germany. And for example, the German government still does not recognize the Yazidi genocide. Well, that's something Yazidis there should work on, you know. Uh, but I mean, there are a lot since 2014. There are a lot of NGOs and charity foundations run by the Yazidis, led by the Yazidis. Uh, but we have the same goal, right? If there are, I mean, there are more than 20 Yazidi charity foundation and big charity foundations. Why are they work for the same goal, but they are not working together? And I miss that, you know, even in Germany, but not only in Germany, but also in the Netherlands and in other countries around Europe and in the US. So, I mean, the best thing to do now, the best thing to do, and pure Yazidis should realize is the only way to get support, to help our people, to get support is to stick together. And I really miss that, you know.
What's the problem that we are like? There's no solution for that we can work together. Like I feel like every one of us is trying individually, but when it comes that we work, we all just hold off and doesn't work on that goal.
Well, Daud, I don't know if I'm like allowed to say this, but I will call no names. But um, we, I mean, if this organization and this charity foundation really care about the Ezidis, they have to stick together, regardless of the interest and political, how do you say it, conflicts in the area. As you know, ISIS somehow succeeded to in more in the sense that they succeeded in promoting hate among Yazidis, and but also among Yazidis, Kurds, and also Shia and Sunni Muslims in Iraq. And I think the only way that we can like stick together is like leaving these things behind and working on only on the case of the Yazidi genocide. These interests are preventing us to stick together to reach our goals to help Yazidi people. I have a foundation. It's a charity foundation. That's why it's called charity. It should not be based on some political interests or economical interests. It's a charity foundation, and the charity foundation works only for one goal, and goal is in this case the helping Yazidi genocide survivors and victims. And I think that's the most important points. And I call upon also other Yazidi foundation and charities to do that. I mean, we should you can have your own charity foundation, but above that, we should have a Yazidi foundation that stands for helping Yazidi victims.
So that'll be a great thing to, and it will be more beneficial for our people. Wahab, when I look at like a young Yazidi like you, I feel like you are successful. What success mean to you?
Well, I mean, it is a very difficult question, but very broad also. But I mean, for me, success is when uh, you can be yourself. I mean, for me, the most successful thing I have got is being myself, doing what I love, helping whoever I want, traveling, traveling go wherever I want. In this case, not everywhere because I am restricted somehow from traveling, not because of COVID pandemic, but also because of some political reasons. But yeah, I mean, and I believe personally that biggest success a human can reach is being her or himself.
So was there any moment like you just felt that you were successful, like you felt that moment that yes, I succeeded in that, and you shout out and you were like so happy about it?
Well, the biggest success I have like reached here in the Netherlands is when the uh, Dutch Parliament recognized the Yazidi genocide, because I have, together with other Yazidis and other Dutch people who are helping us, we have fought like 7 years for it, recognize the genocide. And they did it, they did it, but we are, the fight continues because the Dutch government should recognize it. So we are working on it. For me, that was a great success, because if a country recognizes Yazidi genocide, they have to apply to the convention of UN. So they have the responsibility to protect Yazidis and to give them asylum. Uh, so yes, that was a moment for me. I felt like I'm doing something great. I reached some success. So
That's amazing. So how do you feel about the situation, like about the Europe is not welcoming the Yazidis?
I mean, it's very inhuman what Yazidis are going through on the border of Poland and Russia there. But um, I mean, if we the Yazidis in Europe, like the Yazidi diaspora here, I think we should be aware of the fact that we got asylum because those people suffer, right? If we are aware of that, we should like go on street and demand justice for them and demand support for Yazidis who are stuck there. So I think for now it's very important that Yazidis, and especially Yazidi foundations that are there to help Yazidis, are like to raise awareness about that and to help Yazidis wherever they are. Today, for example, I have been to a Yazidi family. They are facing deportation from the Netherlands. Uh, they they are not getting asylum. So that's another fight I have to begin with, like within the coming weeks. So there is a lot of things happening, and we should not stop when a parliament, a Dutch parliament or any other Western parliament recognize the genocide. It is only symbolic, but we should demand the governments to recognize the genocide, so they restrict to UN Convention of Human Rights and the responsibility to protect and to help Yazidis physically, not only like shouting out and we are with you, blah blah.
What are some last words that you will tell everybody who is trying to change the world for better?
Uh, I mean, changing the world starts with changing yourself, and with that I mean changing your behavior toward other people. When you are safe, it doesn't mean that everyone is safe. So try to help those who are in danger, or people who are in need. And yes, so change your behavior, change yourself. Starts with that, and if that happens, the world will be fine, I think.